Sayadaw explained that practicing systematically is connected with listening to the guidance and instruction of the wise who had totally eradicated the defilements, who were totally free from the agitation of defilements. So, practicing systematically is connected with the listening to the guidance and instruction of wise people who were totally free from the agitation of defilement. Without listening to the guidance and instruction of the wise, there is no way one can eradicate the defilements. One cannot just practice in the way he/she is right, but one should practice according to the method, according to the correct method. And Sayadaw explained that in the word Dhamma, Sa comes from the word Santa. And Dhamma uplifts, protects, prevents, and saves the practitioner so that the practitioner will not be degraded or inferior. To whom does the Dhamma save, protect, support, and uplift? Dhamma protects, uplifts, saves the person who practices systematically. And how does this Dhamma support, save, protect, and uplift? The Dhamma saves, uplifts, and protects the practitioner so that the practitioner will not stay in the samsara round of existences for long. And Sayadaw has been explaining from both theoretical and practical aspects. And what it means that the Dhamma protects, uplifts, and supports the practitioner. So an example is given. If a patient is sick with some kind of illness, the patient has to go to a skillful physician. The physician finds out the diagnosis, what the patient's illness is, and the physician prescribes certain kind of medicine in order to cure the illness. So when the patient takes the medicine as prescribed by the physician, the illness becomes more and more relieved, and finally the illness is cured. So it is the medicine that is curing, it is the medicine prescribed by the physician that is curing the illness. So the medicine is curing the illness so that the person will not die from the illness. So the medicine that is prescribed by the physician cures the illness totally, and this can be compared to how the Dhamma uplifts, prevents, and protects the practitioner from lower existences. The Dhamma uplifts the practitioner so that the practitioner will not be degraded or inferior. So in this way, the Dhamma protects, prevents, uplifts the practitioner so that the gravity of kilesa defilements cannot pull down the person to the lower existences. Because people have craving on existences, they perform ordinary kind of wholesomeness that can prolong the round of existences. Due to the gravity of kilesa defilements, these ordinary wholesome deeds that are performed make the person prolong in the round of existences. The Dhamma uplifts and protects the practitioner so that the practitioner will not stay in the samsara round of existences where there is a mixture of happiness and suffering. And also the Dhamma uplifts the practitioner so that the practitioner will not be reborn in lower existences. Due to the skillfulness of the physician and also the effectiveness of the medicine, that the patient is cured from the illness. So it is important to explain the quality of the Dhamma, and today Sayadaw will explain the quality of the Dhamma in brief, and Sayadaw will explain that by becoming a Sotapanna, by becoming a stream enterer, one can free oneself from the gravity of defilements which are the worst. And also Sayadaw will explain that by becoming a Sotapanna, which gravity of the defilements that the person can overcome so that his or her round of existences will not be long. So the Dhamma uplifts the practitioner. Dhamma uplifts the person who practices systematically so that she will not fall into lower existences. So in this way, the Dhamma bears, Dhamma supports, the Dhamma saves and uplifts the practitioner. It is said that Dhamma saves so that one eradicates or uproots the defilements that can lead the person to be reborn in lower existences. So the defilements that can make the person reborn in lower existences are Sakkaya Ditthi, Vicikicca, and Silabbata Paramasa. Sakkaya Ditthi is wrong view, believing that there is being or soul. Actually, there is only Nama Rupa, mind and matter. Mental phenomena and physical phenomena are the only things that really exist. But when the person has Sakkaya Ditthi, then the person believes that there is being or soul. If the person is not being mindful at the present moment, the person does not discern mind and matter. The person does not know the truth. The person does not discern things that really exist. But instead, the person has wrong view. The person believes in things that does not really exist. Believing that there is self or soul, it is called Sakkaya Ditthi, and this Sakkaya Ditthi can lead the person to be reborn in lower existences. So it is very important to remove Sakkaya Ditthi. Not knowing the truth, the person does not believe in the Buddhist culture, the person does not believe that there is a person who has removed all the kilesa defilements, and thus the person who is totally peaceful. They do not believe in the person who eradicates all the defilements. So in this way, they do not believe in Arahat, who has eradicated all these defilements. So they don't believe in noble persons who remove the defilements systematically by practicing according to the correct method. And such people, they cannot keep 5 precepts, and they are having doubt, confusion on the quality of the Dhamma. When they are having confusion and doubt about things that are trustworthy, they have vicikicca, skeptical doubt. Vicikicca, skeptical doubt, can also lead the person to be reborn in lower existences. So they don't believe that there is only mental and material phenomena. They don't believe in the Four Noble Truths. They don't believe that by practicing the Pubbavagga preliminary path, one can finally develop Ariya Magga. So in this way, they don't believe in the Four Truths. They don't believe that by practicing the Eightfold Noble Path, one can gain the true happiness. Such people believe in Creator. They believe that by having faith and confidence in the Creator can save them in heaven. So they don't believe that by eradicating the kilesa defilements, one can gain genuine peace and happiness. They are believing in wrong practices, believing that by practicing the wrong kind of practices, one can be free from defilement. Such kind of wrong belief is called Silapada Paramasa, and Saraji will not explain them in detail. Instead of discerning mind and matter that really exist, they believe in being or soul. So, by becoming a Sotapanna, by becoming a stream enterer, one can remove the defilement that can lead the person to be reborn in lower existence. If one is uncertain, if one has doubt on things that are worthy of faith and confidence, then the person has vicikicca, and this vicikicca can pull the person to be reborn in lower existences. Believing in wrongful practices, believing that wrongful practices can lead to happiness and peace, it is called ditthi, wrong view. Ditthi and vicikicca, wrong view and skeptical doubt, can pull the person so that the person will be reborn in lower existences. Ditthi and vicikicca are the strongest defilements that can lead the person into lower existences. The Dhamma uplifts and saves the person, whoever practices systematically, so that kilesa defilements cannot pull the person into lower existences. Saving, protecting, uplifting means that one, the Dhamma saves, protects the practitioner. It means that the Dhamma, by practicing the Dhamma, one can totally remove the kilesa defilements that can lead to lower existences. So just like the example given yesterday, a person who is sick with malaria, when the patient is given appropriate medicine, then the fever goes down, and finally the medicine cures malaria totally. When malaria is cured totally, then the person will not get fever. In this way, the malaria germs are totally extinguished. So in the same way, Dhamma uplifts and saves the practitioner so that the practitioner eradicates the defilements that can lead to lower existences. The most gross defilements, the gross greed, hatred, and delusion, they are called apaya because they can lead to the lower existences. When one is selfish, one only seeks for one's happiness, one does not care about others, however others may be. And also, if one is selfish for one's own group, it shows that one does not want the welfare of others. And thus, the person lacks metta, loving kindness, so there will not be patience, forgiveness, or sacrifice. And when one indulges in cruelty, then one is hurting others. Not knowing the flaws of gross greed and hatred, taking them as good, then the person is very inferior. And thus, his or her suffering is without an end, because the person does not see flaws and gross greed and hatred, but the person takes them as good, and thus the person indulges in gross hatred, greed, and so on. Not seeing the flaws of greed and hatred, there is delusion, and this delusion is also a extreme form of defilement. So gross greed, anger, and delusion, they are very extreme, and this extreme form of lobha, dosa, moha, they are apaya that can lead the person into lower existences. Such kind of gross defilements that can lead to lower existences are removed by attaining the first path and fruition knowledge. When one becomes a Sotapanna, stream enterer, there will not be gross defilements that can lead to lower existences. There are medium form of defilements that are not as gross as apaya, and they are also refined form of lobha, dosa, and moha. Such kind of medium defilements and refined defilements that cannot lead to lower existences, they are removed by higher path knowledges. Sotapatimagga, the first path knowledge, eradicates and removes a extreme form of greed and hatred that can lead to lower existences. By becoming a Sotapanna, stream enterer, by realizing Nibbana, one will no longer indulge in extreme defilements. And thus, transgressions that are caused by indulging in extreme defilements cannot arise. A Sotapanna will no longer commit transgressions. Sotapanna, a stream enterer, will no longer take other people's belongings by force out of greed. And also, a Sotapanna will no longer lie in order to gain personal gain. And also, she will no longer kill others with anger. The person will not destroy other people's life with envy or jealousy. One will not destroy others by lying or deceiving. And also, a Sotapanna stream enterer will no longer take intoxicants in order to have fun. So in this way, a stream enterer will no longer commit transgression due to the removal of gross defilements. So in this way, Sotapatimagga, the first path knowledge, removes gross form of lobha and dosa, and thus a stream enterer has a very firm moral conduct. The Dhamma uplifting, protecting the practitioner, it means that the Dhamma uplifts the practitioner so that the practitioner totally removes the defilements that can lead to lower existences. In order that the Ariya Magga, in order that the path knowledge removes the defilements, one should work on the preliminary path by practicing the three trainings: Sila, Samadhi, Panya, morality training, concentration training, and wisdom training. By developing knowledge, by practicing these trainings, when knowledge becomes matured, one finally gains Ariya Magga Jnana, path knowledge. That's why one has to make use of Vipassana Jnana, inside vehicle, in order to gain Ariya Magga, path knowledge. By developing Ariya Magga, by developing path knowledge, one can realize Nibbana. In order to realize Nibbana, one has to take certain vehicles and one has to reach certain stages of knowledge. Among the existences, Apaya is the worst. The Dhamma can guarantee that one will no longer be reborn in Apaya. Apaya is made up of two parts, Aya and Apa. Aya means the wholesome deeds, which are the cause in order to gain three kinds of happiness. Most of the people, they like to have happiness, they like to gain happiness connected with existence. There are three kinds of happiness. The first one is Manusa Sambati, happiness as a human; Deva Sambati, happiness as a Deva; and Nibbana Sambati, the Nibbana, which is totally free from defilement. Nibbana is the genuine happiness where there is no defilement, which is a total peacefulness. The cause for gaining the three kinds of sampati is the wholesome deed, wholesomeness. Kusala, wholesomeness, means the kind of deeds that are blameless, faultless, which can bring benefit. So here, kusala, wholesomeness, are called ayya, because they are the wholesome deeds that can lead to three kinds of sampati. Apaya means the realm where it is away from wholesomeness that can lead to three kinds of sampati. So apaya is the realm where there is no wholesomeness. It is the realm where one does not have the chance to perform wholesomeness. It is the realm where there are greater unwholesomeness than wholesomeness. So it is the realm where one does not have chance to do much of wholesomeness, where there is more of unwholesomeness. By becoming a Sotapanna, by becoming a stream enterer, one is totally free from the realm of apaya. So it means that one has totally eradicated the kilesa defilements that can lead to lower existences. A Sotapanna will no longer perform misconduct because a Sotapanna has removed the defilements that can lead to lower existences. A Sotapanna still has greed, but the greed that a Sotapanna has is not as gross to pull him or her to lower existences. A Sotapanna still has anger or hatred, but it is not as inferior as the apaya gamaniya defilement. And thus, a Sotapanna will no longer be reborn in lower existences. He, she is totally free from the gravity of defilements that can lead to lower existences. One has to practice Vipassana in order to attain Ariya Magga, path knowledge. By gaining path knowledge, one can uproot the defilements that can lead to lower existences. Dhamma, saving the person, means that the Dhamma uplifts the person so that the person is not pulled down by the gravity of defilements, the defilements that can lead to lower existences. Sotapatti Magga, the first path knowledge, eradicates the gross form of defilement. Attaining the first path knowledge, one can remove the most gross defilements. But still, a Sotapanna has some gross defilements, such as a Sotapanna still craves for sensual objects. There is still greed for sensual objects, wanting to see good things, wanting to hear good sounds, and so on. So a Sotapanna still has the wish to be reborn in the existences where there are abundant sensual objects. Based on this greed, a Sotapanna performs good deeds that leads him or her to human assistance and Deva assistances. As being reborn in human and Deva assistances, a Sotapanna is not totally free from the suffering of round of existences, but a Sotapanna will not have more than 7 assistances. An Anagami, once enterer, eradicates refined form of Lopa and Dosa. As an Anagami no longer wants sensual pleasure, but still an Anagami wants to stay in existence with jhana. Not seeing the flaws of existences with jhana, an Anagami can be reborn as a Brahma, and as a Brahma there is still suffering. One is totally free from suffering by becoming an Arahat, and the Dhamma can help the practitioner to the topmost destiny, which is to become an Arahat. When one becomes a Sotapanna stream enterer, one is totally free from the suffering of lower existences. And as a Sotapanna, there will not be more than 7 existences. A Sotapanna will no longer be reborn in lower existences, and a Sotapanna will have 7 existences of human and Deva. The Dhamma can uplift the practitioner, whoever practices systematically, to that level. At least the first path knowledge. By practicing systematically, the Dhamma uplifts the practitioner, the Dhamma uplifts, saves and protects the practitioner, whoever practices systematically. The Dhamma, which is properly practiced, can make the person to gain happiness and well-being, because the person practices the Dhamma systematically. So by practicing systematically to a satisfactory level, one can no longer be reborn in lower existences. One's samsara, round of existences, will not be long, and one will no longer fall into lower existences. It is the benefit of the Dhamma. In order to gain such kind of assurance, one should practice systematically. And in order to practice systematically, one should have faith and confidence on the Buddha who guided the way, and the Dhamma, which are the Buddha's definite guidance and instruction. Without faith and confidence on the Buddha and Dhamma, one cannot practice. In order to remove the kilesa defilements, in order to uproot the kilesa defilements, one should practice systematically. Practicing systematically is connected with having faith and confidence on the Buddha who guided the way, and the Dhamma, which are the definite guidance and instructions given by the Buddha. And Sayadaw will continue to explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.